tutorial today, and today's hair is provided by Bgmgirl hair. Now they did send me over four bundles actually of their 26-inch straight hair in a 4x4 lace closure, and I went ahead and bleached the knots and plucked this closure. And right now I'm just showing you how I applied the cap. And for me, I like to just sew on top of the cap, but if you don't like to, you can just sew the cap to like match the trace of the closure, and then cut off the extra cap and then sew onto the braids. But for me, I decided to just leave the cap on, and I sewed the cap all around. And I just did the ball cap method only on that section where that closure is going to lay. And we are going to do a deep side part lace closure sew in. So this is not a quick weave today. We are doing a full sew in lace closure install. So as you can see, like I told you guys, I have her prepped and I bleached the knots and everything, and I added the foundation to the cap where the closure is going to lay. And I just want to say that you do not have to place your closures all the way to the side like this, but if you do have a 4x4 and this is the smallest, well, it's not the smallest size closure because they do make 2x6, but as far as like regular size closure, the 4x4 is the smallest closure that's shaped like this. And you can do this with a 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 7x7. It's just really up to you on what size closure you want, but you can still create that deep side part or somewhat of that frontal type of feeling, like give it that frontal look without it being a full ear to ear. So this is how you hack your closure install to look more like a frontal. But however, I did place that closure right all the way to the side to come down to the sideburn area. And as far as where the ear is, you do want to cut around that closure to follow the shape of the ear. And once you have it placed where it needs to be, you can go ahead and just sew that lace closure all the way around to the other end. For today, I am going to start by gluing the closure down first. I just like to pretty much, it just feel like when you do the closure kind of first, you be done with the style quicker versus, sewing it and then going in with the closure and everything like that. So I just went ahead, I just sprayed her skin and her cap a little bit with my lace, my Beautiful Hustler skin protectant. And now I'm just going to go on with my layers of my lace matte adhesive, and I'm going to spread it about a thick wide because, that helps you with a longer lasting install. But for her install, I did do 4 layers of adhesive, but on camera I will show you 1 because it's just, repetition over and over. And once I get everything all, glued down and spread it out, I will go ahead and begin to pull that closure right into that glue. And I like to go in with my fingertips and just tap it right on in. And you still want them to hold each side of that closure as you do blow dry it on the heat setting. And after I blow dry it, I'm going to go in, with my hot comb and, my wax stick as my second, just like the technique that I like to do before I tie it down with the melt belt. Just take that wax stick and take that hot comb and get it nice, pressed out so that heat can help it melt even more. And then I'm going to tie it down with that melt belt. And while that melt belt is sitting on there, I would just let it sit and let it melt, and then of course move over to the next steps. sew the bundles in. Now, I like to start from the front and then bring it around. And right now I am double wefting. I usually double weft the first 2 bundles or 3, depending on, how thin or how full the hair is or how much hair the person has. And with the last bundle, I just sew it single so it lays as flat as possible. But even when you are double wefting, all you have to do is just secure the ends of, every time you do the flip over method, just secure the ends down really good and really flat. That way you will still have a flat install. But to be honest, when I do get to that very top part of the sew-in, I just prefer to sew it single just to ensure that it's going to be extremely flat and neat, once I get to laying the leave out down or laying the closure or frontal, whatever I'm using. Just make sure I sew that hair down really flat so the install is very seamless. But however, I'm just going to continue to double weft and, just get those bundles in there nice and secure. So one thing I forgot to mention, when you're doing the flip over method and you do come up to the side where the closure is, do not sew on top of the closure. Just sew close to the closure, just in case you ever wanted to cut the closure out and replace it with another 5x4. Another 4x4. So never sew on top of the closure. Just bring the tracks as close to it as possible, but make sure it can still lay flat around that closure. But however, now I'm going to go ahead and begin to cut off the extra lace. I have removed the melt belt, so I just want to finish getting the lace closure all tacked down and laid or whatever like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and part off the part and what else? And just get everything prepped, because I am going to tie that melt belt down on there once again before doing the baby hairs and everything, and after I spray the Tresemme holding spray. So just stay tuned. So the top of her what is it called? The top of her sewing is very, very flat and neat. So I'm just going to sew this third bundle in single, and I'm going to just, continue to do the flip over method back and forth, back and forth until I get all the way to the top of the sew-in. Some stylists that glue tracks at the top of the sewing, but to me it's just like, I don't know, like non-professional. And I don't really like to use that word, unprofessional, because I don't like to put no title on nothing to nobody. I just prefer the stylists to be themselves and live to their standards. But to be honest, I feel like the purpose of getting a sew-in is that everything is sewed in. So I just rather single weft and just sew, that last track as close to that closure as possible, so it's no gap, between the tracks and the closure. And long as it's nice and flat and neat, it's going to lay nice, flat and neat. So just try your best to sew up as close as you can. But if you absolutely have to probably glue like the last track, then do what's best for you. That everything is sewed in, I'm just going to take my wax stick and apply it on those top tracks, and I'm going to go in with my hot comb and just hot comb the roots of those tracks out. Now I know I'm not the only one who has this issue. It's like, even though the hair be straight, it do not be like straight like from the root of the weft all the way down. Like, it do be like crinkled and wavy and all of that. So just to make sure that your sewing is going to be nice and neat, I just like to hot comb those tracks at the top to just get all of those little crinks, little folds and everything that be in the tracks. Like, you just want it to be nice and neat. So I just hot comb that top area right on out. And then I'm going to go ahead and, create my part, my side part. I do want it to be a curved part. I do want it to be a deep curved part. So, I'm going to just keep parting, until I get the perfect parting area. And also another thing I wanted to mention, I did over bleach the knots, but I'm just gonna do like a quick fix. She's not keeping this in long, and I know that's dumb because we just sold all this in, and she probably only gonna have it in for like a week or so. But however, like I mentioned, I did, over bleach the knots or whatever. But I'm just going to do a quick fix of the knots with, the black spray and the concealers. But that will be later on in the tutorial. So just continue to watch what I'm doing, guys, and take notes. And now I'm just going to take the ISO Plus holding spray, and I'm just going to spray it on the roots, on the edges. I didn't have my Tresemme at this time, so I'm just going to spray that on the roots and on the closure and just comb everything smooth and neatly into place. And then, of course, I'm going to tie that lace down again with that melt belt for the edges, and, just give it that extra secured melting. While that hair was melting in, I went ahead and flat ironed the hair off camera so it could be nice and sleek. And now I'm going to remove that melt belt and get into doing the baby hair. So I will be using the eyebrow razor to razor down the baby hairs. And then I'm going to use that the Iso Plus holding spray today. And by the way, guys, I do like this holding spray for baby hairs, but that's about it. Like, it's not really my favorite. And to me, the hold is kind of weak. So I would definitely stick with my Tresemme. I just wanted to give it a try, but yeah, it's a no for me. But however, it did get the job done for this video as far as like the baby hairs and, you know, whatever like that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and swoop those baby hairs, get them laid to the gods. And then we're going to fix up and clean up that part so her hair looks correct, like bomb.com. So keep watching. Those baby hairs laid, it's time to clean up this part. So I'm just going to take my high beam spray in the color black, and I'm going to lay my rat tail comb right in the center of that part and go around that part with that black spray. And as you can see, it got that part laid, okay? Like over bleach wear, like that don't even look like we had an over bleaching problem at all. And that's why I love doing this technique. And even though the part looks pretty clean, I have to make it more vibrant, more cleaner. So I'm going to go in with that same foundation that I use underneath her lace and just clean that part up. And I went over it about 2 or 3 times just to make sure it was like how it is, y'all. Don't play. Get into it. Yes, this is a sewing. Yes, it is flat. Yes, it's like a bond-in. But when it comes to my sewing installations, y'all, I do not play. We want flat all around. We are not playing those type of games, honey. So I'm going to continue to just comb the hair all into place, but this is the finishing look. Let me know down in the comments what y'all think below, and thank you guys for tuning in. See you on the next video.